Yeah. One up and up is magic. With the gang, we ball out, it can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have it? Look in the mirror, now I'm feeling like a savage. Tell my son I love him, for him I'ma make it happen. Now my dream's reality, not going back to. You say that you proud of me, I turn my back, you laughing. Now I hit the scene, they like lights, camera, action. Living in a dream, now my music, they be blasting. Step out, I'm a star, always in the latest fashion. Had to set the bar, tried to catch me lacking. Bank account for my son, he won't have to struggle. You can see it in my eyes, all I do is hustle. They tried to knock me off my feet, I'm ready to rumble. Feel like I ain't ate in weeks, working off the muscle. Oh yeah, oh my, we ride for my brothers, no lie. All you can die, never wrong, they right. I ain't changing my side, yeah, we in it for life. Up is magic. With the gang, we ball out, it can get tragic. All we got, we gon' let you have it. Stuck in my ways, think I need to change my habits. What would you do if you were me and didn't have it? Look in the mirror now.
Well, no trip to the Northwest would be complete without a little rain, and we've got a lot of rain falling right now at CenturyLink Field in downtown Seattle. These folks love their... They're set for football, so are we, as the Seahawks get set to match up with the Baltimore Ravens. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Right there, 54 Mike.
A little jet sweep to start the drive. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of 3 right away, and it's second down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, Jackson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, touchdown number 15 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. The point after through the raindrops, up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Wilson and the Seahawks take over now, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They go to the former Saint, Mark Ingram. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Here's a guy on his 4th franchise in 2 years, Carlos Hyde. And he stopped immediately there. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down and 5. 57. Mike, 51.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. And some room to work. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Well, not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
The throw here to Andrews, the tight end. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18.
On any given pass play, you never know exactly where your exit points are going to be. On this play, he was flushed to his left, still on the run, able to accurately throw the football for a nice first down.
This is Chris Carson, 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And a big turnover. There as his guys will get the football back. So they need to determine if that knee was down before the ball was coughed up.
And they also wanted to make sure that the ball was possessed as they were going through, that the ball wasn't working its way free before the knee hit the ground.
A line of scrimmage once again, the 5 as they get ready for 2nd and goal. Here's Carson, and he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Chris Carson, his third touchdown now on the year as the Ravens push further out in front. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
Now Tucker to add the PAT. And we'll see if this rain affects the team's decisions going forward, but they kick it here, and it's good. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Here we go. At their own 30-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
3-15. 57. Oh, here we go. Oh. Still got 4 down. 4 down. 57.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wilson, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Matt Judon, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Wilson to the Seahawks, looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Well, the catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. Wilson, open man is Metcalf. He's got it. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Hey, nothing to see here, just your standard 4th down gain of 28 yards. And the drive keeps going. So they move from 136 over to the other as they come up on 1st down. And he'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit and find our way back into this game.
They run. It's Mark Ingram, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down.
Keep it up, defense. Keep it up, guys.
Hey, hey.
Mike 48. Not today, you are. Not today. 48.
From the gun, it's Wilson. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
A 49-yard attempt.
That is inches from the upright. It's no good. Wide to the left, and this score will stay right where it is.
Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I'd feel very confident about this kick, but Let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. The tackle there by Quandre Diggs.
Quandre Diggs on the tackle. A gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
With the score, Ravens 14, Seahawks nothing.
Push him clean. Push him back. Kill. Slam.
On 2nd down, it's Carson. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
On 3rd down, it's Gibson. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40, the 20, and all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown as the Ravens push further out in front. Well, they were just hoping that run would pick up the 1st. They got the whole enchilada.
And I'm so used to teams on 3rd down, doesn't matter how far they need for a 1st down, throwing the ball. Instead, they run it, and as you said, pick up the 1st down, and then some, and then some. In fact, everything, all the way for a touchdown. Terrific play.
At their own 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
On 2nd and 10, Wilson, and he's got room. And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown. That pick 6 extending this lead even further. And boy, it's been a while since I've seen a team struggle this badly in the first half.
I think all they want to do is get to the locker room, try and regroup, and come out to start the 3rd quarter. But if things don't improve fast then, I think the backups get a lot of play in the second half.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
Ingram, and the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a...
From the shotgun, Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
You better be afraid.
3rd and long, it's Wilson. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off here by Jimmy Smith. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
In on the tackle there, Bobby Wagner, coming off a third straight All-Pro season.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Mike 54. Under crunch. Right there. 54. Right there. 54 Mike.
Off the play fake. Here's Jackson. It's brought in here by Willie Snead. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. Well, Snead figures to be an important veteran presence for Lamar Jackson. 2 years ago, it was a disappointing 2017 for Snead. That was in New Orleans. But then had a bit of a bounce-back campaign a season ago in his first go-around with Baltimore. 62 catches, 650 yards. Did have surgery in the offseason on his left index finger, but back to full health and ready to go.
He's coming. Double up. He's coming. Double up.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jackson going to throw deep. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Mark Andrews, his 5th touchdown now on the year as his guys continue to pour it on. Tucker with the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. It hasn't gone particularly well for them, that's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 40. And the return will stop right around the 25. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They run it with Carson. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
On 3rd down, Jackson forced out to Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from games in progress, as well as scores from earlier today.
The coach.
We get slap happy up here sometimes. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down. 5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Here's Wilson from the gun on 3rd down, eluding the pressure right, airing it out for Olsen. And now here is another interception. Picked up by the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And to the 12. That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran.
And that's caught inside the 35. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. So that changes things in a big way. Now from all the way down inside the 30, here's 1st and 10. Here's Jackson to throw. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Well, it's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there.
54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch.
Jackson now on 2nd and 10. Got a man. It's Brown. And they move this all the way down to the 9. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half.
Hey, watch Sam. Watch Sam. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Hey.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. To throw is Jackson. Buying time to his switch. And it's 6 points for the Baltimore Ravens. Big decision there. They say forget the field goal and go for it. It pays off.
I wonder who was in the ear of the head coach on this one. Did he make this call on his own? Or maybe the analytics coach got involved. And a lot of times you talk about that all week before the game. Hey, if we're in certain situations, analytics actually says do it this way, which might be against the norm. And it paid off for them in a really nice way.
Cashing in there on the final play of the first half. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This is taken at his 4. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line.
At their own 24-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them. There's Wilson to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. On 2nd down, Ingram. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
On 3rd down, Wilson. They go screen. This is Ingram. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first. Only 2 on the screen pass there, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
At their own 20-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, Let's take control right away.
Yeah,
Defense,
we
got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see what the offense gets done.
He's going deep for Brown. And that's caught inside the 35. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown, 83 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. This offense, they were dynamic in the first half. The halftime break, that didn't slow them down at all. Big strike here in the third quarter.
It's almost as if they were saying, it's not just our skill in the first half that's getting this done, it's confidence as well. And confidence has taken over this game in a big way. How about these strikes that we're seeing?
And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Mike 58, right there. Blue there, blue there.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. Second down. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that. And that's what he did.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Here's Wilson. Flush to his right. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And he will bring this all the way up to the 30-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. The tackle made by Benson Mayowa.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And no pitch there and no chance either as he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, not a big gain with that play, but what they're doing is they're spreading the defense out, probing a little bit, and what they're hoping probably is that later in the game, they can create a matchup that they can exploit for big yardage later.
Here's Sam Cook now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. Dorsett on the return. 45 yards, that's what the punt goes for. 5 on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. And he is going to be taken down. And that should be the final play of this third quarter. Like a freight train off the edge, Calais Campbell with a sack. Back now in Seattle, Washington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. After the sack on first down, Wilson, he's got room to run past the 20. He got him a big chunk of that yardage back, but even with that effort, it'll still be third and long. And the Seahawks on third down, they're struggling. 0 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Now Wilson, escaping the pressure right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And now here is another interception. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself. You still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
On third down, it's Carson. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. Throwing again on second down. Wilson throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete. Greg Olsen was the intended target, and it's 3rd and short. The Seahawks on third down, as bad as you can be. 0 for 7 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 2. Wilson. That's into the hands of his tight end, Will Dissly. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. Now Wilson on first down. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete. The former first-round pick Marlon Humphrey there to get a hand on it. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. To throw is Wilson. Throwing again. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Philip Dorsett hauls it in. And he's going to be brought down short of the first at about the 31-yard line. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. The Seahawks will go for it. It's Wilson. And it is incomplete. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. Well, that's another mistake there on the drop pass on 4th, and we've seen him do things like this all game.
It's not hard to figure out why they're down by that deficit. They haven't made plays that are going to keep them in the game or win the game all game long. That's another example right there. It all boils down at the end of it to execution. Either you make the play or you don't.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jackson, he's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. And they will elect to decline the penalty.
Everything turned out the way they wanted it to. No sense in even having to take that one. Hence the decline.
To throw on 3rd down. Jackson being chased out left. He's going to take a shot for the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Well, they had the run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Wilson from the gun, he'll throw. Room here to run. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. Wilson hit. It's loose. It's out. Fumble. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And that should just about do it. They return it to the end zone, sealing it with a defensive touchdown. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left because victory.
Philip Dorsett by himself. 20, 10, and somewhat of a measure of revenge as he's in for the touchdown, but they still trail big time.
He'll take it, but he won't be able to smile about it.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. I was just about to say he hadn't missed an extra point all season, but there it is. His first miss, no good. So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. This is taken at his 4. And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. A little jet sweep to start the drive. And some room to maneuver. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A good pickup there at 22.
Come on, fellas. Check 4, check 4.
They'll run on first down. Gibson. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
He's tackled at the 40-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup. It's 2nd and 8.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Ravens, they remain one of the hottest teams out there as the win moves them to 6-1. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for Seattle, they dropped just their 2nd game so far as they fall to 5-2. And they'll try to turn it around next week as they head to Atlanta for a matchup with the Falcons. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.